Welcome to the February 18th school board meeting. Glad to see everybody out. We got the public comment sign in the back if anybody, already got some, if anybody else wants to sign in or sign up. At this time, Ms. Brown, if you would come up and introduce our young lady.
Well, I don't think she needs much of an introduction for anyone that was at the Teacher of the Year banquet. This is Miss Nevaeh Hall. She gave me a list of things I need to say to introduce. She is an amazing first grade student, a very good student. That's what she wanted me to say, which she is. Her favorite color is pink, and she loves in Miss Siplin and Miss Hill's class doing her centers and learning to read. Did I leave anything out? Okay. So she would like to do the prayer for tonight.
All stand, please.
Close your eyes and bow your head. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be our name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is key, power, glory forever. God bless my school and bless the ones that make different decisions at my school. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's have the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, we're going to go right here and at 2.1, the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Knight, a second by Ms. Hagan to adopt tonight's agenda. All approve? All opposed? 5-0. All right, public comment. We have two names tonight. Ms. Townsend?
Yes.
Would you like to come forward?
I sure would. Thank you. How's everybody this afternoon?
Wonderful,
Good.
thank you.
I'm wonderful. My name is Judy Townsend. I'm a lifelong resident of Madison County. And I want to thank you all. I serve on the Heritage Committee for the consolidated schools, and we're working on that. I need a microphone. But tonight I'm here for a different purpose. As I said, I'm a lifelong resident of Madison. And over 20 years ago, I got my notes, so I won't go over my 3 minutes. Over 20 years ago, the proposal was made to consolidate the schools. And MCCS were built with the capacity and the intent to house students from Greenville, Lee, and Pinetta, is my recollection. And when they decided to build a school, they held a contest to name the school. And I believe Ms. Gibson was on the committee, and you actually won. I'm not really sure.
I won. I didn't, no prizes or anything, but I did
win.
I did win.
And the reason that the school was named Madison County Central School is because it is centrally located in the city, or the county, whichever one you want to say. And I go different places. I'm also a city commissioner, and I go to different cities, different leagues, Florida League of Cities, National League of Cities, and when we talk about the first thing you introduce yourself to see the name tag Madison. Say yes, Madison County. First thing out of their mouths is Madison County is famous for Sheriff's Department stops. Number one. And how about them Cowboys? And the third thing is, how about the baby Cowboys? And I correct them, it's not baby Cowboys, it's Broncos. It's Madison County Central School. So, and they're training them to be cowboys. And I said that to ask this question. I don't understand why, and I know it's just a proposal, that it's being proposed to change the name of Madison County Central School. Because Madison County is Madison County. When I was growing up, we had Madison Primary, we had Madison Middle School, Madison High School. I graduated Madison High School in 1977. But all of my daughters have graduated from Madison County High School. And I don't think you need to change something that's not broken. And I've talked to different people in the community, and probably 90% are not in favor of changing the name of the school. I don't know if you all get out and talk to your constituents or not, but that's the feedback I'm getting. And I thought it was a way to save money. You all say you close the Lee, Pioneer, and Greenville in order to save money. But by also saving money, you fix to throw away a bunch of money. Because you got to rename the school, you've got to repaint everything. You have letterhead, you have football jerseys, cheerleaders, basketball, all that stuff. That's not cheap. You're gonna have to rebuy stuff like that. And I would suggest, just me, that instead of throwing away money and not showing the county that you all are responsible for the schools, your heart is where it should be, I believe it is. I think if you do save money, that money needs to be taken and spread among your employees. Madison is one of the lowest paid counties for their teachers. And they're always being plucked to the north, south, east, west, and even Georgia. Because if you got a family, you got to go where you can feed your family. So tonight I'm just asking you all, if you will, I'm just one, but I do bring sentiments from the people in my community, people in District 5 from the city of Madison, which I represent. And we're asking you all, I guess you'll have the final say as to what the school is named.
Yes, ma'am.
But it represents Madison County. We have Madison County Cowboys and we have the Broncos. We don't need Cowboys, Starfish, whatever. Broncos, Cowboys, that's what we're known for. And I think it would be a disgrace or an injustice to change the name of the school because it is Madison County. So thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Judy. I've heard those same sentiments, because every time I go to the store and whatever, this whole board has to vote on it. But when I go to the store, I'm accosted. When I say accosted, they're grabbing me by my shoulder. Some went as far as to pull my hair. And tell me how long my hair has grown, but they stop them and pull it back and stuff. But then that's the same sentiments, and then this is all I'm saying. Any child who enters the Madison County schools, these are my sentiments. When you enter that Madison County school, Lee, Pioneer, or Greenville, you got your own little logo, your own little whatever. But and each child will forever, when they enter this central school, be a Bronco. They leave from the central school, they will be a cowboy. They can't get around that. I've had in the siblings, and they support the Broncos and they support the Cowboys. When they're at these other out-of-line schools, they support them because they want to come to these games and stuff and whatever. And they're so proud that their sisters and brothers are playing for the Broncos and playing for the Cowboys. So I don't think the children just has anything to whatever say about it. That it's an accepted thing. So I just don't understand either. But then it has to come before the board, so that's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Cornegay, Ryan, come on up, buddy.
Thank you so much, Coach Frank. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, let me say thank you all so much for the work that you all continue to do and that you are doing to help better our schools and our kids' lives. I also want to say thank you so much to Ms. Vieta for answering some of my calls the past few weeks, and then also Superintendent
It's got
Pickles.
a minute too.
It has, but I appreciate you answering and helping and all
Of
of
course,
that.
that's my job.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Also, Superintendent Pickles, thank you for your call and for sharing with me some information and also some shifts going on. Ms. Knight, thank you so much as well for reaching out also. I did want to have a few concerns here this evening, and I know that some of these have already been addressed, but number one, just know that I was somewhat confused when I came to a recent School Board Consolidation Committee meeting, and I was letting on after that meeting that I'm not supposed to be at those meetings, that they're closed and that they're not public, which drew some concern for me because I know under sunshine law, a lot of the business that's coming back to you all is going to be a recommendation. And so that was a concern for me. I understand that that has been corrected, so thank you so much for making those meetings public now. I still have that concern mainly because in the beginning stages of those meetings, the public was not involved because those meetings were not published and not put out. And so that's still kind of in violation of sunshine law. And that's where you have, Ms. Judy, kind of that information about not knowing really the will of the community and understanding the heritage that comes in those names, even if it was just about 20 years ago. And I will stand in agreement from citizens of the town of Greenville as well, where I serve on the council, that they too support continuing the name of the Madison County Central School. But I did want to just bring that to your attention as I am very concerned about that. Also concerned, just know that, and I know this is being worked on and fixed, for that facilities committee, we do have representation from the town of Greenville on there. Not sure how it happened, but unfortunately, some kind of way, the meetings were scheduled at the same time as our town council meetings. It's around the same time. And so representation from Greenville was not able to be put directly on that committee and really that information. So we actually ended up postponing our last meeting last week to make sure that we had representation here. So I know there are some questions about why I might be coming to some of these meetings. That's part of why. I'm trying to make sure I know as much that I can so I can share back with people in my community, and also making sure that we get you all the information that you need and I can have those conversations with you all on the back end. So I'll end that conversation there, but I did also have a piece to share with you. And Mr. Chair, do I have a permission to approach the dais by chance? I have something I want to share with you all from the town of Greenville. So just last evening, the town of Greenville did adopt a resolution for you all.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that you all have a
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. History and Preservation Committee.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And we
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. We want to share this resolution with you all to know. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to note this resolution, and I won't read all of it for you, but this is a resolution on behalf of the town of Greenville. As you all know, as these consolidation committee meetings were going on, I brought up the fact of the Greenville Training School. This school is a very rich legacy in the town of Greenville, and it is where the present-day site of the Greenville Elementary School, which is being closed. And so the town decided to dedicate Black History Month on behalf of the Greenville Training School and recognize that rich history. There's a lot of information there for you all to learn. Couldn't put everything there. You can see it's a pretty long one,
Right.
but it's still a lot of information that's not there. But a few highlights, just noting that the school was opened in 1930, as I shared earlier. And when I was having these conversations with you all, Mr. Frank C. Mirra, Reverend Katie Wilson were some of the beginning educators who started the school. You'll see some information there regarding some of the inequities around funding for students around that time. You'll also see information there about historically that Ray Charles was actually in the beginning stages before he went blind, was an attendee at that school, and that's based off of currently living people who attended that school who shared that with me. Who was also shared that at some point he also played at their prom at that time. So you can understand the historicness of that building, of that space, of that land. So I want to share this with you all, number one, to go to that committee so that you can have this as a piece of knowledge to go down, hopefully on the record of the school board as well, but also to note that we are very, very, very much in support of you understanding the rich legacy that comes from the town of Greenville and that land specifically where the school sits. And so noted here as well, and as you all probably know, the Madison Training School was given national status as its historic site this within the past year, and I really believe that Greenville should be moving forward, so doing something to the same. And so I highly encourage and look forward to seeing if I can work with you all on something like that. But I'll end my comments there. I'm pretty sure I'm over 3 minutes. Thank you all so much, and always willing to chat with you if you have any other questions. And any other information you might want to know about the training school, I'm happy to share that as well.
So before you step down, Mr. Cornegay, so I can note it here for future reference, what night, your meetings fall on?
Mondays, the second Monday of the month at 6
Second Monday?
p.m. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing this.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna move on here to our consent agenda. Do I have a motion? 4.1 is the minutes, 4.2 is the fundraiser. I have a motion for the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Have a motion by Ms. Gibson. And a second by Ms. Thompson to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all approve? 5-0. Okay. We don't have any items for discussion. All right, items for individual consideration. 6.1, RFP for CM services. Mr. Rutherford.
That's why Mr. Rutherford is coming. So I'll go ahead and tell you a little about this. We are having to put this together on by the request of DOE, the State Board, and BSI. So we're just getting this put together and in hopes of being prepared to repair some of the damages. But we cannot do it until the children are out for the summer. So there's no money out. This is just an advertisement, and then he'll explain some more of it.
So I was asked to get a proposal request together so that an advertisement could be requested to be posted of no dollar commitment, because you don't know your dollar commitment that would be pledged from FDEM, FEMA, DOE, whatever that is. So then through a list of repairs that came through facilities office, and then I went with him as well and walked through the central school, developed a list of items of things that needs attention from post-storm, and then just some of those are just 25 years old of stuff. So this request would be basically, you would probably end up, depending on what those items are, at some point the board then would look at setting a priority of what those items were going to be based on funding that was given to you by those entities. What that is, I don't know. I think that's a different discussion.
Right.
I think this is more of a contractual obligation that says, are you contract ready? Yes, we are, or we will be. So a CM service agreement employs that, and then that way you would do an AIA 121 contract, which has no stipulations for terms of money or time. It's a base contract agreement. Then to the Exhibit A, which attaches, would be the placement of valuation of dollars and time, depending on what was available. So that's what this is. There's things that's not in here, such as dates of when it would be because of 28 days and meeting you guys' procurement policies. So those have to be filled in, and then the pre-proposal conference and stating such. Some of this work, of course, would hopefully want to be done. So this is like it's a kind of a time bomb. So we're in February. 28 days is the shortest by procurement from state of Florida, 28705 statute, and your procurement policies that could act. So if I rolled 28 days from today and took that date, we're into March. Your last day of school is probably somewhere around the end of May. So that gives me 30 days in April, right? So when I start looking at that, if I were to go and procure some windows and lights and things like that that would be replacements, can I get them in 30 days? No way, not going to happen. So, because your bidding time's in April, then May, so what has to happen is we got to be ready to pull the triggers like super fast. And that's if a funding release is done. So maybe in a summer term, that priority could be exterior elements and facade work, so that work doesn't have long lead items, things that could be picked up and pushed. Remember, we're sitting waiting on train to ship those chillers for the summer for those two places. So integration of that could maybe help in some of that. But everybody in America, summertime work, schoolhouses. So every piece of material and vendor-related equipment in there will be procured now in the next 30 days from all over the country. So just getting ready and being prepared if they come back and say, yeah, there's X amount of money, but you got to have a contract and you're ready or we can't do it. Oh, we're ready. So that's what this effort is for. But no obligation for terms or times, just a way to say, no, we're ready if that available funding is secured. that make sense?
And well, if there's no funding, we're not bound to anything.
Right,
We're
we're
not-
waiting.
This is just saying that we're going to be prepared to do this.
So,
Right.
so you would have, so in a CM agreement, the beauty of that is you have a contractual obligation to go to bid with every vendor and divisional subcontract bid. So this would be an agreement, standard-based agreement that says, when I would prepare it and send it to y'all for review, it would be a zero-term cost, meaning, you don't get money,
They don't get money.
see you later. And that's the game, that's the hardball game that's played, so that interest for them is to be in there. So no, you would not be obligated to 1 cent of anything. The one thing we want to try to avoid is if federal, state agencies say, wait a minute, go design that and get prices on it. Oh, time out. Now we're into money. We don't want to do that. We want to be able to take this and work backwards from where we are to figure that dollar figure out, to give those estimated costs to some agency, whoever would fund you, and then we pull the tickets and go. Then that way, when you're paid, then that project's paid. Otherwise, there is no money obligated, zero. This is just a formality, if I'm understanding right, that it would, but there is a contract in place, and we can go forward. So if sometimes politics are played with who's what they call shovel ready, who's not. If you're shovel ready, you're good to go.
That's right.
If you're not, you're gonna get passed.
That's right.
That's what this is, in a roundabout,
We can jump right on it and get our materials in a timely manner.
right?
You don't have to wait, because there's gonna be some halting and shipping and all that stuff. It already has
It
been
is.
last year,
Yes, ma'am.
and prices went up. But we'll be ready to jump on it from day one. We sign the thing, and the next minute they can do what they need to do.
They can
So,
do what they need to do.
so a process would be, so under, and I'm not an attorney, you guys got a good one, so I'll let him make sure of that. But under 287.05, that's Florida statutes for contracting services in the state. So there's several methods. Under this method, then there would be a criteria that's established and intent to negotiate, which is written in this advertisement that binds up and takes care of that statute check. The only other process piece you got to do is you got to develop a committee that would hear this results to proposals. That committee can be the entirety of the board and do it. I would suggest to separate, not do that. I would form another committee that would bring you a recommendation that you would then accept or deny. You're totally your rights. And then, of course, you have the right to refuse any and all proposals for whatever reason you want to do. That is based on, there's 10 items in here. And it's based solely on the experience and qualifications of a construction manager at risk. Not price, nothing else. It's on what he has done before and where else has he done it. Here and other places and local participation, you can see those things. Any of that stuff you want to change, it's your job. You just look at it, tell me, we change it. And it would be then, that's how that would go. So you would have a proposal entry, a process to select, and then that recommendation to a board. So that 28 days for proposal entries, then probably another week depending on timing of your boards. So you're talking about a 35-day window to get to a person that you says prepare contracts for. Now we're into end of March, first part of April. That's why I'm telling you, timing is a big thing. So,
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the RFP for construction management services.
Second.
Okay, we have
Motion in a second.
we have a motion to accept the RFP for CM services by Ms. Thompson, a second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? If not, all approve, 5-0.
Thank you.
So Will, you're gonna add the dates and everything that need to be in that and run the
if
paper.
it pleases the board, I'll get with Dr. Pickles,
Yeah.
develop those dates that meet procurement and meet your schedules for meetings. And yes, sir, then we would have a one that has those blanks filled in for dates.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rutherford.
All right, RFP 6.2, RFP for moving services. Dr. Pickles, Mr. Reeves.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, we, The point of this is we're looking at the district hiring someone to perform moving services. You've got a lot of stuff that needs to be moved from the outlying schools into the central school so that they can so the central school can service all the kids. Now, believe it or not, there were not a lot of RFPs for moving services out there. And so we kind of freehanded this. It's in the form of it is the first page is what you would run in the paper. That's the notice for request for proposals. And then it references that before you submit a proposal, you need to come and get the bid specs, or you need to call up the district office and email the bid specs, which is the entirety of it. And it gives the specifications, it gives them the locations of the schools that they're moving this stuff to, either whatever they're asked to move, they're moving it to either the central or the high school. I'm sure Dr. Pickles has lots of stuff they need to do before you actually move, but figuring out what you want to move and what you want to leave and all that kind of stuff. If you'll look on page 3, you've got the time schedule there. So the due date for the proposals is March 21. It's going to be opened on the 24th, and then we'll consider it on April 7. And the idea is, let's get some folks kind of on board so that to the extent we can do things on weekends or when kids aren't in school this year, we can go ahead and start doing that. But they'll certainly be ready to hit the ground running at the beginning of summer. And so that's the idea, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with this RFP. And then also on page 3, you look at the moving services, which, like I said, there was no form, and so we just kind of freehanded it on the different things that they'd be asked to do, which is moving, delivering, packing, transporting, unpacking, all of that kind of stuff. So does that cover?
Yes.
Yeah. So what we'd like to do is, if you all would approve it, then we'll get it noticed in the paper, at least in the paper, and then anywhere else you think of, and go from there.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the RFP for moving services?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I move that we accept the RFP for moving services.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Ms. Hagan and a second by Ms. Knight to approve the RFP moving services. Any discussion on this? If not, all approve? 5-0. All right, 6.3, MCCS Gymnasium repair. Mr. Ginn?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the board. What you've got in front of you is a approved quote by the insurance company that's for Central Gym. I sent them 2 quotes. They accepted this one for $152,500 for the floor replacement. The floor in there got wet back during the hurricanes, and it's starting to bow and buckle again. So it's fully 100% covered with insurance. They let us use the deductible from Adelia, so we do not have a deductible involved in it. So this will be 100% covered under insurance. So, and I recommend Trident Services to do the work. They're the ones that replaced it before.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the MCCS Gymnasium repair quote?
I move to approve the MCCS gymnasium repair.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Thompson, a second by Ms. Gibson to approve the gymnasium repair at the Central School. Any discussion on
Let me
this?
just ask, you said it was 100% covered by insurance, right?
Yes,
Did
yes,
you-
ma'am.
What did you say after that? The
It was-
deductible, you said?
The deductible was covered, is gonna be, it's gonna fall up under the Adelia deductible that's already been paid.
Okay.
So we don't owe
We're
anything
good
for
that.
deductibles.
Okay,
As
thank
far
you.
as the gym.
I just didn't catch what you were saying.
Yes.
In other words, we do not have a second deductible.
Yeah,
Yes.
And we have it in writing too, that they've already approved it
Very good.
by the insurance.
Thank you, Mr. Gann.
Good deal. All approved?
I'm still
Oh,
asking.
I'm sorry.
What is the time frame on the floor?
That I don't know yet, but he said this quote was good for, I think he said 30 days or 60 days. So, and he talked like he could get going, moving on that pretty quick.
Okay,
So, his busy time is summer.
all right,
So he would like
That's
to
why
get
I'm
on
asking.
before, so, yeah,
Yeah.
he would like to get on before summer. So,
okay, all right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Any more discussion? All approved? 5-0. Okay,
Thank y'all.
6.4, 2024-2025 class size reduction compliance reduction plan. Ms. Hill?
Okay. What you have there is the explanation for why we were out of compliance. We were over by 2 students in kindergarten at Central School and also 2 students in kindergarten at Greenville Elementary. And so this is our corrective action plan. We continue to advertise and the good part is there's not a fine anymore. So we just have to tell them what we're doing each year. And so that's what we're doing.
Good deal, good deal. No fine?
No fine.
How about that? All right, do I have a motion to approve the 2024-2025 class size reduction compliance reduction plan?
I move to approve the 2024-25 class size reduction compliance reduction plan.
I second.
Have a motion by Ms. Gibson and a second by Ms. Thompson to approve the 2024-2025 class size reduction compliance reduction plan. We done said that enough. Any discussion on this? If not, all approve, 5-0. All right, might as well stay there, Ms. Hill.
Yep. The next-
6.5, spring out-of-field teachers.
So you also have there the list of teachers who are classified as out of field with how many periods of their day they are out of field. And so we're continuously working on trying to decrease the number of periods that students have a teacher that's out of field, but we are happy that most of them have a certificate. So we're still working on that too, but this is the list for second semester.
All right. Do I have a motion to accept the spring out-of-field teachers?
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the spring out-of-field teachers.
Have a motion by Ms. Knight. Do I have a second?
I second.
A second by Ms. Thompson. Any discussion on this?
Let me ask, do they still have 3 years to get certified?
It's actually 5 years now.
Oh, 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The state changed that the last year. They extended it 2 more years.
Okay. We have a motion by Ms. Knight, a second by Ms. Thompson to approve the spring out-of-field teachers. Any more discussion? Not all approve? All opposed? 4-1. All right, 6.6, personnel changes. Dr. Pickles.
Before you, you have 2 items. You have the actual personnel changes. We have our reading coach that's coming from our reading allocation. And I have her base salary and then her advanced degree supplement. And then we have 2 employee resignations. And then we have, on the second page, we have other personnel approvals, which there's 2 substitutes and then after-school tutoring. And you see where they're paid from their Title I. So I ask for approval, please.
Question.
Yes.
With these resignations of the teachers, are we having an exit interview?
Yes. They are supposed to be completing it. Now, whether they are completing it or not, I cannot
Okay.
verify
Well, then
that.
It should be done.
Mhm.
I've had so many questions asked about me with that exit interview.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have said they had things to say, but they never did have an exit interview, so.
Okay.
So that is
I
what
will
we
follow up on that again.
Thank you.
I have asked that myself, so.
Okay.
All right. Do I have a motion to accept the personnel changes?
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the personnel changes.
I second.
Have a motion by Ms. Knight, I have a second by Ms. Thompson to accept the personnel changes. Any discussion, any more?
I've got concerns. My concern is this: we've had a minimum of 10 teachers leave the county since the beginning of the school year. We had 2 leave last Friday. We need teachers desperately. We need certified teachers. We owe it to the children to have a certified teacher. Okay. Nothing against the reading coach position. It is a reading, but the reading coach can also be a reading teacher. You know, in other words, they have the reading endorsement. So the person that makes the most influence or success in student achievement is the classroom teacher. And right now, I'm worried about it. I am very worried. We've got those 10 people, and they all have their reasons for leaving. I mean, I'm not judging them. It's, you know, everyone has their reason why they should leave. But the fact that we're not putting a teacher into a classroom really bothers me. It bothers me as a parent, even though I don't have one in the school anymore. It bothers me as a taxpayer, as a former teacher, board member. And I don't see anything, I don't see any movement here. Now, what happened to those 2? Okay, we had 2 that resigned on Friday. Who took their place?
Nobody as of yet.
Uh-huh.
We are working on the Greenville to make other arrangements due to the class sizes. There is one class size that's an 8 and another that's a 10.
Right.
I do know that there was an individual that approached Miss Anderson, but I was also trying to verify because I was told they were being hired in another county. So I was trying to validate that information.
Now, I've discussed this with the superintendent, by the way, before I've come here. Her and I have had a lot of discussions about this. Okay, I say, when you say there's no teachers, yes, we have a lot of teachers in this county, but they are not in the classroom. And I'm not saying take their position away, and I'm not the superintendent, so I don't make the big decision. But why do we let people who aren't certified, which I admire them for it, they've taken on a tremendous amount of responsibility. We need certified teachers in the classrooms.
I agree.
And this is what I'm, you know, and I have nothing against the reading coach. I know all about reading coaching and all this stuff. But I'm still saying, don't these children deserve a teacher in the classroom?
Absolutely, they do. If I can get them to apply.
Well, in the meantime, since we can't seem to get them to stay and apply and all that stuff,
We have a position.
we have to use what we've got. This is what
I have a position right now that if I allow that person to interview and move to that position, it creates another vacancy. And it's like the domino effect. And it's like, I don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
And they're a certified teacher. And the other individual is fully certified, has a master's degree to go into this other position, but I don't want to take away from this other class of students. So
I think we're all on the same page. It's not like we're saying we don't want them to have a teacher.
No.
But maybe we need to be a little bit more creative as far as putting people who are certified, at least connect them with the classroom, you know, a couple hours a day, something like that. And like I said, this position, which it is, like you said, it's in the agreement, okay, I understand all that stuff. But I'm still saying, this is a teacher with a reading endorsement, an experienced teacher that, you know, would fit perfectly well in a classroom, which we need them.
But
That's
that's
all.
not what she will come for.
Well,
and
that's
so-
probably true. Yeah.
The way I look at that too is twofold, we don't lose our teachers just because of, salary and things like that. If we hold our teachers back from being able to advance into a higher position and a higher paying position into leadership just because they hold a certification, they're going to leave us and go somewhere else that's going to give them that management position. So we can't put handcuffs on our people just because they have a certification. I agree, we need certified teachers.
That's all I'm saying.
But it's a nationwide issue, it's not just a Madison County issue. And at the same time, we need to appreciate the ones that we have and the ones that are staying. And we cannot hold them back to be able to advance because, we don't want a teacher out of field.
Well, I'm all for them advancing, there's not a problem there, but I'm addressing this vacancies that we have here. That's the issue.
Well, if there is a little tree that we can water that's gonna sprinkle us teachers, just like dollars that, was supposed to be around here somewhere, you let me know, because, we'll all go water it together.
That's all I had to say.
I have something to say. It should be duly noted that the Greenville School has always been underserved. They have one
Yes, ma'am.
certified teacher. Did that certified teacher left? Is that the one who left? The certified teacher? One certified teacher is at Greenville. You can go online and check these teachers and these people's certification.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was one certified, and you say somebody left Greenville?
Yes, the
Yes.
teacher left Greenville Friday.
Okay. And even though the schools are consolidating, these children still has to be educated.
Yes, ma'am.
And they
They
have
do.
not gotten a quality education in Greenville in a long time
Yes,
because
ma'am.
of the lack of certified teachers. And, if the teachers come here to work, they should at least have been placed, some of them in Greenville. So that's all that I gotta say. So I hope, when we do all this consolidation and all that good stuff, we can get more certified teachers. But I just wanna put emphasis on that teacher who left, we should try to at least hire a certified teacher. Greenville deserves that. Those students deserve that. Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion? Not, all approve the personnel changes. All approved? I didn't see it. Okay. All opposed? 4-1. Okay, volunteers, Dr. Pickles.
Before you, you have 2 volunteers for your approval this evening. You'll see one's for a field trip and one's for extracurricular after-school activities.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the volunteers?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the volunteers.
I second.
Have a motion by Ms. Hagan, have a second by Ms. Thompson to approve the volunteers. Any discussion on this? If not, all approve? 5-0. Staff travel, Dr. Pickles?
Before you this evening, you have 1 trip. It's we paid from Title II, which is one of our grants. So it's the end of this month. It's for Ms. Kaufman. So for the Florida Educator Preparation and Leadership Network Annual Convening. So I ask for your approval.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the staff travel?
I move to approve the staff travel.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Thompson and a second by Ms. Hagan to approve the staff travel. Any discussion on this? If not, all approve. 5-0. Hospital homebound and/or community educator instructors. Ms. Ritchie?
Yeah, I'll do it for.
Okay.
Ms. Ritchie has requested to add the instructor to the hospital homebound and continuing education for the remainder of the year, which will be coming from general funds.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the hospital homebound recommendation.
I second.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight and a second by Ms. Thompson to approve the hospital homebound and community educator instructors. Any discussion? If not, all approve. 5-0. Okay, we moving along here. 7.1, superintendent items.
So, you have a copy of the letter we received. We received $340 from the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. This is part of our annual funding we received from them. I attended the VAD's school finance training last week. We are still waiting on our third calc results. As it was stated last week in the meeting, it is messy. We were promised we would have it on Friday. It still has not been received. We are anticipating a reduction across the board, across the state. So I look daily to see. Work continues on the roofing project at Central. So I noticed when I was out there the other day, they're coming right on around. I know that Ms. Brown has it. They know our testing dates. They work around when instruction, they're trying not to use the power tools, but you still hear them. So I would like to, several of the committees are ready to present recommendations. So I would like to set up workshops, and I think we can get this done in 2 workshops if I have to do a third one. So I was proposing February 24th and then March 3rd. So on the 24th, I was going to propose 6 p.m. and then March 3rd at 5 o'clock before our board meeting. Would those times work for everyone?
March what?
March 3rd, before our board meeting.
So the 24th, and that's on
Don't we
Monday.
have something else the 24th?
That's what I thought.
It's just the brief opening,
Oh, okay.
so
And what
just
time is that
immediately
at?
following,
That's at 5.
Okay, that's what I thought at 5.
so 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then the 6 p.m. workshop.
Yes.
And
I
then
could
on-
make it 5:30, I just figured 6.
Man, what time?
The bid, I could make it at 5:30, the workshop.
Whatever.
It's not going to take long to approve, that's the only thing that's on the special meeting.
Yeah.
So you
It's
said-
just to approve the
And
bid.
then Monday, the 3rd, workshop?
Monday the 3rd at 5.
Okay.
That's before the board meeting.
Right now, there's only 3 committees that are ready to present. But if you have questions, I think it's only fair for you to ask your questions to the committee and anything you want to ask. So I think we should do this in a workshop format. So
Sounds good to me.
those dates, so 5:30 on the 24th, and then 5 o'clock on the 3rd.
Are they gonna do a written recommendation ahead of time, or are they just gonna present?
I'll have them do a written and then do a PowerPoint
Yeah.
and present. And then that way, everybody can have a chance to look
Yeah,
and
that's
prepare
what I was thinking.
questions.
They could think
Prepare
about it ahead of
questions.
time.
I do ask that we continue to remember the families of our 2 young men that were in the accident last week. We did offer the use of the Central School gym to one young man, but they've chosen to go a different route. So, but just please continue to remember our staff, our students, and then those 2 families.
So to get this straight, February 24th at 5:30 p.m. workshop.
Yes,
Okay, and on March 3rd,
3rd.
the workshop is at 5 p.m. and the school board meeting is at
It's at
6. Thank you.
and I can send calendar invites out.
Yes.
And we do have are we still doing the consolidation informational
Yes,
on
meetings.
25th? That was on the calendar originally. Okay.
So we just have lots of meetings right now.
February 25th.
Well, but I just want to make sure the public knows that that's,
On March. I'm
March
trying to get all
4th.
this wrote down on the book they gave me.
March 4th will be the information meeting at Central,
March 4th. At what time?
6 PM.
6 p.m.
And then February 25th at 6 PM. They're
February
both
20
Tuesdays.
February 25th, when?
25th at 6 PM.
Where?
They're both at Central,
I went to Central last week.
both at Central.
Yeah, I was out there last week.
then after our meeting this evening, I'm traveling to Orlando, so pray I get there safely. I have the THAD Spring Conference the rest of the week.
Okay. Travel safe.
That
And
all?
that's all I have. I'll let
Okay.
you address last night.
Ms. Reed?
No, sir, not unless y'all have questions of me.
Anybody got any questions, Ms. Reed?
Not at this time.
Nobody? Okay. Okay, Ms. Hagan.
Nothing, thank you.
I'd like to also extend my sympathies to the family. I'd like to congratulate the Teacher of the Year, Bridget Goots, who spent many dedicated years at Madison County High School. I had the privilege of actually working with her when I was there. I'd like to congratulate our spelling bee winners from Madison County Central, Joni Sanchez, and the 8th grader, and from Pinetta, the 4th grader, Noelle Brulette. The Madison County High School band took 12 of their students participated in a 2025 FBA District 3 solo and ensemble, and they did very well. As a matter of fact, I agree, they are superior and excellent. Our Madison County FFA also participated in an event, and they did very well. Thank you to everyone for their participation in helping these students.
I would just like to echo the acknowledgements that Ms. Gibson has mentioned. No need to repeat them again. I would just like to thank Ms. Townsend and Mr. Cornegay for coming out and speaking and being here, and to all of our staff and visitors that are with us this evening. It's always nice to see people and have faces in the boardroom. And I would also like to thank our young lady for coming in to do our prayer this evening. She is nothing short of amazing, and she is always got a show. So I enjoyed her so much at the Teacher of the Year banquet, so I was very excited to know that she was going to make it here this evening. And I just want to encourage our teachers and our staff to, hang in there and continue to be the hands and feet for our students, in this tough time, and just know that you've got a board behind you. So, thank you.
I would also like to offer my sincere condolences to both of the families of our students that we lost last week. It's been a really difficult time, I know, for our staff members, and it's real easy to lose sight of what everything is about, but it's a reminder of why we do what we do. And, it's easy to get caught up in the little things. But I would like to thank all of our staff members for everything that they do, for loving on these kids, for showing that you support them, and realizing that it's all about the little things in the day-to-day of your jobs. And thank you for everybody that showed up tonight, all of our staff members. Thank you, Miss Judy Townsend, for coming out, and Mr. Cornegay for coming and speaking. It really does make a difference, when we get to hear from the community members and your concerns, and I know that I take them to heart, and I'm definitely thankful, that you guys took time out of your night and your schedule to come and speak tonight. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you all for coming out.
Okay. See, I'm at the end, so I get to say, ditto to everybody. So y'all won't have to listen to all that again. But one thing I do want to say, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but the sign at the high school out by the road looks good. I mean, it looks good. I think they may have put it up yesterday, didn't they? I seen somebody out there yesterday when I went by there, but it looks good. You can read it really good, and I think y'all need to put the lunch menu on there.
And how much is it for us?
I don't know, they might not show up.
Adults.
$5.50.
Yes, Mr. Carroll, ask them to put lunch.
That's a cheap lunch, isn't it?
Yes.
Sweet
But
tea
anyway,
together.
it's good to see everybody out here tonight. It's always good to see the community come in and speak and let us know how they feel. And again, I'm gonna leave with this. That was a tragedy on Friday, and all our prayers go out to those families, as well as the school families, because all that affects them too. But anyway, just keep them in your prayers. If nothing else,
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.
We've got the expulsion
got-
hearings here.